how to build a Techstars Accelerator in Alabama during a global pandemic. Okay, we're gonna need startups. 10 EnergyTech startups. Let's get a team that'll bring energy to Africa, and one saving the planet from pollution. Let's pick up some electrical mappers, a group bringing tech to your home and crawl space, and a duo building an electrical parts marketplace, a certified energy auditor, ridiculously smart battery scientists, some grid guys optimizing the grid, a team keeping the lights on, and to wrap it up, we need a team that assesses buildings by using satellite-powered technology. We need a corporate partner, one that's willing to take off their suits and get their hands dirty. Oh, and we need the founder of Techstars to say that we're cool.
Techstars Alabama? Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Thanks, David. Now let's assemble the Techstars staff. We need a managing director that went through Techstars himself and knows the Birmingham startup scene. We need to pair him with a program manager who's an expert in startups and event planning. Let's grab some killer associates that can dig in with the teams right away, and an entrepreneur in residence to help coach these teams up. But not this guy, this one, with an exit and a mohawk. We need mentors, 113 mentors. And to top it off, let's get insane support from the local Birmingham startup community.
Techstars Alabama, let's get it!
Hey Techstars, congratulations.
Congratulations, Techstars Alabama.
Techstars family. You got this.
Techstars Alabama.
Right now. Congratulations!
Techstars! Good job, guys.
Alright, if we're gonna do this thing in person, let's do it the safe way. And let's absolutely dominate it. First, we need an office. A big, beautifully designed office. Second, all the safety measures you can imagine. Masks, hand sanitizer for you, and you, and you. Oh, and plexiglass, like a lot of plexiglass. Sure, let's throw in a couple office dogs for fun too. If we're gonna build this accelerator the right way, we need to get the teams to bond. How so? Let's shoot each other with paint. A little competition never hurts, right? We're gonna need games, s'mores, beer. Let's be honest, a lot of beer. All right, once we have all of these pieces in place, we have everything we need to launch the first ever Techstars Alabama EnergyTech Accelerator. Play me out, David.
When the skies are so blue, sweet home Alabama, Lord, I'm coming home to you.
Welcome to the Techstars Alabama EnergyTech 2020 Demo Day. I'm Nate Schmidt, Managing Director of the program. 10 years ago, my startup InstaGift participated in Techstars Seattle, back when Techstars was only located in 3 cities in the United States. The experience taught me what it truly meant to be a tech startup, and quite frankly, it changed my life. A decade later, Techstars has supported thousands of companies across the globe. I would have never imagined that Techstars, now a worldwide leader for innovation and entrepreneurship, would come to Birmingham a decade later. Having Techstars in Alabama is validation that our state's entrepreneurial ecosystem has a very bright future. I'm extremely thankful for our city's startup founders, whose success has paved the way for this program, and for our partners, particularly Alabama Power, that helped bring Techstars to Birmingham. And I'm thrilled to show off the 10 energy tech companies that will be participating in our inaugural class.
I'm Alan Bates, part of the innovation team at Alabama Power. The Techstars teams that joined us for our first year of this program are experiencing one of Alabama's best kept secrets. It's a great place to live, work, and scale a startup. At Alabama Power, we're proud to play a role in supporting these amazing entrepreneurs from around the globe and to show them the benefits of doing business in our great state. And in Alabama, it's a team effort. The support our state and local community have shown for Techstars has been overwhelming. I'd like to thank our partners at the Department of Commerce, EDPA, Altec, PowerSouth, and the University of Alabama. In addition to these outstanding partners, we are thankful to the Birmingham and Alabama entrepreneurial ecosystems for welcoming this program and these teams to our home.
I'm Brooke Gillis, the program manager. This year, we were one of the few Techstars programs that was able to operate in person at our beautiful downtown Birmingham offices. Operating an Accelerator in a pandemic is a challenge. We were masked up, separated by plexiglass, and collectively took over 150 COVID tests. I'd like to thank our founders for taking safety so seriously. We were truly in the Techstars bubble during our 13 weeks. I'd like to give a big thanks to our Techstars Global Network partners who were so generous with their time and resources. I'd also like to thank all of the mentors that worked with our teams. You personified what it means to truly give first. Thank you to our Techstars staff, which includes our entrepreneur in residence and our 2 amazing associates. And finally, a huge thanks to our teams and the families that supported them coming right here to Alabama for the program.
Hi, I'm Verimoto, also on the Alabama Power Innovation team. When we launched this program, we were looking for teams on the cutting edge of energy tech, companies creating electrical and utility solutions. For our first year, we had software and hardware companies. 7 of our 10 companies came from outside the state to join us in Birmingham. Our teams are solving problems ranging from building a more resilient electrical grid, emissions tracking, to energy storage, and consumer applications that electrify our homes. For today's format, make sure to visit us at demoday.techstars.com. Once there, you'll find a profile for each of the 10 companies like you see here on the slide, including links to their website, social media, and most importantly, the big green contact button. If you like what you hear, click the green button. And now, oh yeah, it's time to hear the pitches. Let's do this!
Methane. You probably call it natural gas. It's potent as hell. 84 times more potent than CO2. And if you're serious about stopping climate change, you have to be focused on methane leaks. Unfortunately, no one's currently measuring leaks, much less trying to stop them. But there's a silver lining. Methane only lives in our atmosphere for 9 years. Stop the leaks and we buy ourselves a decade in the fight against climate change. I'm Will Foyles, COO of Project Canary. We're a mission-driven B Corp on the front line of this battle to stop methane leaks. So why aren't we measuring and detecting leaks? To answer that, let's look at 2 companies, your local utility, Volt, and a methane producer, Gasco. Whether you know it or not, Gasco supplies at least part of your home's energy by providing Volt the methane needed to create your electricity. Volt will tell you methane emissions are not their problem because they don't produce it. Gasco might tell you their emissions are low, but if truth be told, they don't really know because they're probably monitoring themselves for leaks, using antiquated spreadsheets with inaccurate assumptions to do it. Methane leaks at Gasco are a problem for Volt, which makes them a problem for all businesses that want to track emissions and understand their carbon footprint. You've probably seen this headline before. Big tech company goes carbon neutral by 2030. The headline's certainly eye-popping. But without accurate data up and down their supply chain, big tech is committing to a movie with a great ending, but no script. Project Canary will write this script by being the measurement and analytics platform for carbon accounting, starting with methane. We combine data from our own proprietary IoT sensors, our customers' operational data, and third-party data providers. We quantify actual emissions in real time. By working with Project Canary, Gasco can monitor their operations and quantify their emissions. If there's a leak, they get an alert in minutes versus the months it can take to identify leaks the old-fashioned way. Gasco can now prove to Volt, the big tech company going carbon neutral, regulators, investors, they're not part of the problem. That gives Gasco a competitive advantage. They can even charge a premium for supplying responsibly sourced natural gas. At the very least, they'll be able to save on carbon tax that everyone agrees is coming. And in a future where every ton of methane is costing you nearly 100 times more than CO2, catching and stopping methane leaks equals big money saved. Consider that package just delivered to your office. Do you know the complete carbon footprint of the fuel used to get it to your door? Does anyone? Well, soon, your bank may require you to know. JP Morgan recently announced it will consider end-to-end carbon emissions when making lending decisions. But currently, nobody can provide independent, trusted data on these footprints. Ultimately, any company or person that uses any product that touches hydrocarbons in any way has the potential to be our customer, which means this market is going to be huge. And we are the team to go after it. For starters, our CEO helped build one of 4 B Corps ever to be valued at over $1 billion. On the business side, our team brings top educational and business credentials steeped in finance, alternative data, energy, politics. On the science side, our team of PhDs has expertise spanning material sciences to atmospheric modeling and is cranking out patents. This is way more than just an idea. We currently have over 1.4 million in annual recurring revenue across 16 major contracts with household names. We won these contracts in just 270 days, selling in the midst of a pandemic to companies undergoing extreme cost cutting. And we're just getting started. Because with the fate of the planet on the line, spreadsheet estimates will no longer cut it. We're Project Canary, and we're measuring methane in order to save our planet and build a massive company in the process.
What do you see here? Most people see rooftops, some industrial buildings, and maybe some HVAC equipment. Our team at EnergyHawk sees something completely different. We see the future of energy, massive opportunity, and an incredible new way to qualify facilities for energy and clean tech products. Like so many aspects of our lives, the energy industry is moving fast and becoming more distributed. Because the success and adoption of clean tech and renewable energy companies, which are leading this transition, relies on access to qualified leads, we've built a product which will be on the forefront of accelerating the energy transition. I'm Eric Roth with EnergyHawk, and we're revolutionizing the way energy companies access qualified commercial and industrial leads. So what's the problem? As the world exists today, energy data is a massive bottleneck within the clean tech industry. Currently, renewable, clean tech, and energy efficiency companies are spending an enormous amount of time, energy, and money trying to find qualified leads. How do we know this? Because we lived this in our former roles. So let's talk about how the world works now for these companies. I'm a salesperson. I have a quota to hit by the end of the month. I wake up, have some coffee, and say, okay, who do I call today? So I'll start off in Google Maps. I'll locate an industrial building in my territory. I'll blindly call into that facility, eventually find the right person to talk to, convince them to sign a letter of authorization, and then wait around for 2 weeks just to get the data back from the power company, only to see if that facility is qualified for what I'm selling. This prospecting prospect is time-consuming, expensive, and honestly, salespeople are just bad at it. Here's my co-founder, John Wells, to tell you what we did to change that.
So what we've done is built a solution that automates this entire process. Using satellite imagery and predictive analytics, our software locates and assesses the largest energy consumers that exist, allowing energy sales teams to view the most crucial data points for each facility's energy profile. How does this help? By bridging the gap between the black box of utility data and the need for an efficient go-to-market strategy within the energy industry. Our users can simply log into our platform and search any city, state, or utility zone across North America to access over 250,000 energy profiles at our covered facilities. This is a massive competitive advantage for our customers. By automating square footage analysis, layering important industry data, and assessing visible rooftop equipment, we can now estimate the most important energy characteristics for the solar, battery storage, and clean tech markets. How do we make money? Simple. We charge each user a monthly subscription fee. Users then get access to a certain number of facility credits per month that they use to source new business. And soon, we'll have an API integration that allows for seamless connection for Salesforce, HubSpot, and other major CRMs. So far, customer feedback has been overwhelmingly positive. Over and over again, we're hearing, this makes sense. Within just 2 weeks of actively selling our version 1 product, we signed one of the largest energy storage companies in the country and have a number of other deals in contracting stage. It's also worth noting that our first paying customer has a monthly revenue potential of $45,000. The market opportunity here is enormous, and in the US and Canada alone, the annual revenue opportunity is well north of $1 billion. And we've built an unfair advantage around that opportunity in the form of our proprietary data set. Not only are we solving a problem that we ourselves faced in previous sales roles, but we're also bringing expertise in energy regulation, technical development, and go-to-market strategy, giving us a strong competitive edge in this unique field.
To recap, we're giving companies in one of the largest and fastest growing markets in the world a huge competitive advantage in taking their product to market. We built an incredible tool that bridges the gap between energy companies and customers and allows salespeople to immediately locate and contact qualified prospects. Users can now put their sales efforts into hyperdrive in sourcing the most qualified, highest margin deals in any territory in North America. The market is exploding, and we're adding fuel to the fire. If you want to learn more about how we're enabling the transition to distributed energy systems and creating enormous value for our customers and shareholders in the process, then reach out to us. Thank you.
When I was a kid, I had a hero, and his name was Bill Nye the Science Guy. I always wanted to grow up to be a way cool scientist just like him, so I could mix colorful liquids in glass beakers. I ended up going into business instead. But when I got older, I realized that Bill Nye wasn't special for his scientific prowess. He was gifted at helping people understand scientific subjects. So as it turns out, I'm living out that dream after all, because I'm here today to talk to you about a scientific subject, nanofibers. Nanofibers are a new type of material, and they're small, so small that if a red blood cell was the size of a house, a nanofiber would be just the size of a pencil. And because of their size, they have special properties that make them useful for solving complex problems. Nanofibers will make it possible to convert greenhouse gases into clean-burning ethanol. They'll extend the range of the batteries powering our electric vehicles. They'll provide adequate filtration to the 2.4 billion people on Earth who don't even have access to clean drinking water. They'll replace skin grafts as wound dressings for burn victims. The efficiencies of nanofibers will even see our species through to the next frontier of human exploration. My name is Robert Agnew. I'm the CEO of TrueSpin Nanomaterial Innovation. We manufacture affordable nanofibers with unique properties, and we use them to enable humanity's loftiest ambitions. Right now, TrueSpin is using nanofibers to solve a big problem in batteries. A battery has two sides, a positive and a negative. The goal of the battery industry is to figure out a way to make the negative side of the battery out of silicon. For years, battery scientists have known that by making the negative side of the battery out of silicon, it'll let batteries store a lot more electricity. But there's a problem with that. You see, as the battery charges, silicon quadruples in size. This makes the battery pop like a balloon. The secret is to make the silicon act like this sponge, except 1 million times spongier. We do this using silicon nanofibers. Competing companies have already proven that batteries deploying silicon nanofibers this way deliver off-the-chart performance. But these competitors' ways of making nanosilicon are inefficient. They simply cannot produce these special materials in commercially viable quantities. TrueSpin can. TrueSpin's chief scientific officer, Anthony Breyer, is the inventor of a fundamentally different process for making nanofibers that's thousands of times more efficient than competing methods. It's called alternating current electrospinning, and it's been the subject of his master's and PhD studies for the past 6 years. So am I telling you that 2 guys in Birmingham, Alabama, hold the key to mass producing a material essential to making batteries store more energy? That's exactly what I'm telling you. And not only that, we have a patent on it. We've already shipped off TrueSpin's special nanofibers to a custom battery assembler to make and test our prototype batteries. We expect these prototypes to have roughly 20 times the energy density of conventional batteries. That means that this flashlight runs 20 times longer. So imagine a world where a Tesla will drive 20 times farther on a single charge, where every new neighborhood is on its own microgrid, where energy from solar can be saved for a rainy day. We're sitting on pins and needles, waiting for the test results to come back on our prototypes. And when they do, we're going to share them with a select list of people. If you'd like to be on that list, sign up to be an insider on our website, tru-spin.com. The total electrification of America is the future, but it's only going to be enabled by a true breakthrough in battery technology. Nanomaterials are that breakthrough, and TrueSpin's patented process finally makes them affordable. We're TrueSpin Nanomaterial Innovation. We manufacture affordable nanofibers with unique properties, and we use them to enable humanity's loftiest ambitions.
The Earth is warming at an alarming rate. And what's one of the largest causes? Buildings. Buildings waste 30% of all energy they consume, and they contribute 40% of all greenhouse gases. And this is no surprise. How many of you leave your lights on, and worse yet, all of your computers on overnight? And that's where we come in. We're Verimoto, which means green now in Latin. And we're changing the way building owners manage their energy consumption and helping them reduce their carbon footprint in order to save money and save the planet. I'm Donna Sanders, a 10-year energy auditor, 3-time founder. I served our country in the United States Marine Corps as a nuclear, biological, and chemical warfare officer, and now I'm on a mission to reduce greenhouse gases in cities. And let me show you how. Meet Stephen, an actual Verimoto customer. Stephen manages a portfolio of 250 buildings in New York City, and he wants to reduce his carbon footprint of his buildings, or he soon will face fines of about $100,000 per building if he doesn't improve. So, how do we help Stephen and others like him? Well, you've heard of Energy Star, the yellow labels that tell us the annual cost to operate our appliances. We at Verimoto are doing the same thing for buildings. And here's how we do it. Step 1, Stephen gives us access to his energy data. This is easy and can usually be done with the signature and help from the utility. Step 2, we analyze the data using our custom algorithms. Step 3, we give Stephen the result. In this case, Stephen gets a D from Verimoto with the score of 60. Ouch. But that's okay. Now that Stephen knows his score, Verimoto can help him improve. Our platform offers solutions like carbon offsets, energy challenge to change behaviors, access to renewable energy, and recommendations for equipment. Stephen is happy. His building score improved from a D to an A, and he has a great carbon footprint score as well. Stephen is happy because he's reduced his operating cost, carbon footprint, potential fines, and Verimoto's customers typically see reductions of about 35%. His tenants love him. His occupancy rates are higher, and people are willing to pay higher rent in order to live in Stephen's sustainable buildings. Our pricing is simple. We charge a one-time setup fee to bring a building onto our platform, plus monthly recurring fee for each building. We also charge 10% fee on the carbon offsets that we help customers purchase in order to avoid penalties. This is a very big $38 billion market. Today, very few buildings are energy efficient, but soon they will all have to be, either to remain operationally competitive or to avoid penalties. This is a big problem for building owners, which means it's a big opportunity for us. Since the start of Techstars, we've launched a private beta in buildings in the Mid-Atlantic and Southeast and have gone from 0 to 90,000 in ARR via paid pilots with 4 corporate customers in 1 municipality, which brings 52 buildings onto our platform. And we're laser focused as a team of closing our first 150,000 in ARR. In addition to myself, we have an incredible team of founders ready to take Verimoto to the next level. Our CTO has 10 years of experience as a software engineer, and the rest of the team includes expertise in data science, analytics, marketing, and finance. We're on to something big here. Energy and carbon footprint management is a rapidly growing market, and we stand to take a big chunk as we build a successful company. But what's most important to us, with 40% of all greenhouse gases coming from buildings, we can help keep 5 billion tons of greenhouse gases out of the atmosphere just by reducing the amount of energy buildings currently waste. If you manage or own a building, reach out. We'd love to help you. We're fundraising. So if you're an investor and you want to help us build a billion-dollar company while helping the world become more green now, come join us.
A few years ago, a classified report from the US government was leaked that exposed the weaknesses of our power grid. It said that a terrorist with nothing more than a rifle from Walmart could destroy as few as 9 of our country's 55,000 transformers and knock out 3/4 of the grid for an extended period of time. The scary part is that the US can only produce 2 of these large transformers per year. After that report came out, the US Department of Energy came to our founding team with a challenge: solve this problem using only American supply chains. While researching potential solutions, we stumbled upon a breakthrough that reduces the size and costs of electric vehicle infrastructure and even solar inverters by over 90%. We founded Resilient Power Systems to commercialize that technology and accelerate the transition to electric vehicles. There are many challenges that grid providers face when they think about upgrading their EV infrastructure. First, the relatively few chargers that have been installed are often too slow. Who's going to wait around a few hours just to recharge? Second, grid equipment is big. It can take up half the parking lot, a real problem in urban environments. And finally, grid providers face a chicken and egg problem. Upgrading the grid to prepare for EVs is a $6 trillion investment. Do they wait for more electric vehicles before upgrading the grid, or get ahead of the coming wave of EVs now? Resilience technology solves these issues. Our hardware and technology acts like a universal power adapter or hub for all kinds of grid equipment. It's small and needs a much smaller footprint than traditional hardware. Some parking lots could open up 20 additional parking spaces using Resilient. We provide a solution to the chicken and egg problem of electric vehicle infrastructure by bundling EV charging systems with distribution grid upgrades utilities are already making. Finally, it's fast. Imagine recharging your Tesla in just 5 minutes. Our tech makes this possible. Accenture Mobility found that the electrification of transportation represents a $2 trillion a year opportunity for utilities in North America and Europe alone. But utilities need technology like ours in order to capture that revenue cost effectively and with services that delight consumers. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Beyond helping utilities capture that $2 trillion a year, our tech can act like a universal power adapter for all kinds of grid equipment, like solar inverters and the growing $17 trillion green hydrogen economy. In short, our market is huge and we've barely scratched the surface. We have millions in revenue, and just a few months ago, we won a $5 million bid from a major oil and gas company. That bid is part of a larger $20 million project that we'll likely win as well, pending successful execution of the first $5 million phase. Our largest customer is the $64 billion electric utility Dominion Energy, which vetted the technology both in our lab and in the field at full voltage and power. This is real working technology for which we've been granted 4 patents and over $1 million of awards from the Department of Energy. Our world-class team includes PhDs and has had prior exits which are now owned by Eaton, one of the largest power management companies in the world. We are looking to accelerate our growth by partnering with visionary investors and strategic partners in the power industry. If that sounds like you, please reach out. We are Resilient Power Systems, saving money, saving time, saving the world.
In my late teens and early 20s, I spent several years working as an electrician in commercial and industrial facilities, offshore in the oil fields of the Gulf of Mexico, in the shipyards of coastal Mississippi, and in the electrical rooms of metro hospitals. Then I went to work for an electrical engineer. Because of my experience in the field, I spent a lot of time collecting information about real-world electrical systems and taking that information back to the engineers at the office. The collection of this information is tedious and complex. We're collecting information like how long the conduit is, what size is it, what's it made out of, how many wires are in it, and what are they made out of. And we collect all that information on paper with pencil, and that is ridiculous. My name is Ian Hoppy. I founded Conduit earlier this year, and we solved this problem along with a few others. Conduit is a platform for electrical system analysis and failure prediction. It starts with our tablet application and walks a technician through the detailed collection of information about how an electrical system is put together and what it is made out of. We're building the first ever digital twins of electrical systems. Engineering firms across the country spend hundreds of millions of dollars in labor costs collecting information for the analysis of electrical systems each year. We can cut that labor cost in half, and they're willing to pay for it. Some of the firms that we've spoken to would be willing to pay $16,000 a month for our solution. We will have close to $400,000 in annual recurring revenue in March of 2021. This is a $3 billion market that we can grow quickly into. But that's just one side of this two-sided market. We realized after designing this engineering tool that it is also an incredibly valuable resource for facility owners and facility maintenance contractors. There are an estimated 10 million facilities in the United States alone. Most of them don't have any up-to-date records of their electrical systems. And if they do, those records are on paper. And that's also ridiculous. For a nominal onboarding charge, we can bring a preferred conduit contractor into your facility to build a digital twin of your electrical system. This twin is easily editable and shareable and gives facility ownership over their own electrical records. And this is new. We're also bringing white-labeled IoT monitoring devices into the Conduit ecosystem to watch temperature and humidity and energy consumption or any variety of variables, and can notify facilities managers when something needs to be fixed before it becomes a problem. All of this is reported onto a web-based dashboard. In the future, we'll be able to use this data to do failure prediction of equipment, generate sales leads, and even bring down insurance premiums. There are some companies doing electrical monitoring out there, but monitoring without context is like shooting in the dark. Conduit's secret sauce is the combination of information collecting, engineering tools, and monitoring. We estimate that this addressable market is around $100 billion in the United States alone. The electrical system monitoring industry is in its infancy, and we plan to move fast to meet demand. We intend to be in 160 commercial and industrial facilities by the end of 2022. By 2026, we plan to be in 2,000. We started building our product in May of 2020 and already have a pilot customer. We're also working with Georgia Power to solve some problems around power quality. To sum it up, Conduit is bringing electrical systems into the 21st century by collecting and analyzing system data and then monitoring those systems for efficiency and safety. Our beachhead market is with electrical engineering firms, but we plan to overflow into facilities inside of a year, and we're shooting for an ARR of $1 million by 2022. Tell your friends and let me know at ian@conduit.io. Thank you.
Alabama has a population of 5 million people. In the summer, when it's at its highest peak of electrical use, it consumes 30 gigawatts of power. Compare this to Nigeria, a country of 200 million people. Can you guess how much electricity they have available at peak demand? 5.4 gigawatts. Compared to Alabama, Nigeria has 40 times the people, but only 1/6 the electricity. Can you imagine the impact that such an energy deficit has on communities across Nigeria? Imagine kids having to study at night using candlelight. Now imagine hospitals losing power in the middle of critical surgeries. My name is Olu Ajala, and I don't have to imagine, I experienced it. Nigerian households and businesses are forced to become their own electric utility, running diesel or gasoline generators to support their energy needs. This causes noise and air pollution, and they incur high energy costs. Not only do they have 1/6 the power capacity, they spend 4 times more on power than we do here in the US. And they do it on a much lower per capita income, which makes the situation even worse. Growing up in Nigeria, I watched businesses fail and others remain uncompetitive in the global market. The whole economy suffered and still does till today. This experience had a major impact on me, so I decided at an early age to be a part of the solution. I studied electrical engineering at Louisiana State University and earned my MBA at Carnegie Mellon University. I have worked for the past 15 years in the energy sector, from oil and gas at Chevron and ExxonMobil to utilities and renewables at Southern Company and Southern Power. Now I have left Southern Company to start Ashipa Electric with some amazing co-founders. We are more dedicated than ever to being a part of the solution, first in Nigeria and eventually all over the world. How do we do it? By building solar-powered microgrids to help households and businesses in underserved communities reduce their high cost of electricity by up to 30%, thereby stimulating economic activity and impacting millions of lives. We start by signing exclusivity agreements with communities that have high commercial activities but low to no grid power. This makes us the sole utility in the community. So far, we have signed 32 agreements with communities, exceeding our initial pipeline target of 5 megawatts, and we've built our first pilot. We have also built a management software that controls our generation asset and allows thousands of customers to prepay for power right from their smartphone. Over the next 3 years, building out our pipeline of 5 megawatts will yield $3 million in annual revenue. But more importantly, with these assets, we can exhaustively test and refine our software to prepare for the emerging global microgrid market, which is forecasted to grow from $6 billion today to $12 billion by 2024. Beyond our projects, our software will power the next generation of microgrids by other developers that will reduce the energy deficit in Nigeria and beyond. So what type of team does it take to make an international microgrid startup work? You have to have team members on ground in the countries you're working in, which is exactly what Ashipa Electric has. Let me introduce you to our Chief Operating Officer, Tope Oguntade, who manages our team in Nigeria. Here's Tope right here. He has traveled from community to sign our agreements. And the rest of our team consists of engineers and software developers with experience in the utility sector, on large-scale renewables, and on advanced microgrids. Some might see microgrids as just a fad, but for those of us at Ashipa Electric, and for 200 million people in Nigeria, and for 3.5 billion people across the globe with unreliable electricity, microgrids are truly a matter of life and death. If our mission and motto resonate with you, we would love to connect.
This is my grandmother's home. I used to love staying at my grandmother's house, except for when I was just a few years old, I would get sick when I spent the night there. More than once, I went to the ER with an asthma attack. The air inside of her house was making me sick. We didn't know it then, but it turns out she had mold growing in her crawl space. And the damage was so bad that the home was condemned and we ended up bulldozing it. Most of us don't know what's wrong with our home until it's too late. Our cars tell us what's wrong. Commercial and industrial buildings are now using predictive maintenance, and yet we have almost no real data about our homes. As a result, homeowners are not only wasting billions of dollars a year, they're destroying the environment and finding themselves and their kids sick. The problem is, without real data about what to do and when to do it, homeowners constantly make the wrong decision or wait until it's too late. The best option a homeowner has today is to keep their eyes and ears open, except they don't know what to look for because they don't know anything about the systems in their home. And when they need help, they have to deal with a different certified technician for every system. Most homeowners just aren't prepared to be a facilities manager. My name is Alex Lynn, and I'm the founder and CEO of Shipshape. Now, today, it's possible to use real data from smart home devices combined with third-party data like weather to power predictive maintenance and performance analytics for homeowners. Just imagine if homeowners could get actionable recommendations that also help them connect to the right provider at the right time. Shipshape's proprietary technology platform helps homeowners reduce the cost of operating and maintaining their homes. Here's how it works. Shipshape makes it easy to monitor the performance of critical systems. First, install smart home devices that we recommend and connect them to Shipshape. Then, Shipshape analyzes the data to send alerts about maintenance, repairs, and performance improvements. When it's time to take action, Shipshape connects homeowners to the right service providers. We charge a small subscription to homeowners for this service. To reach these homeowners, we partner with home service contractors that offer Shipshape as a valuable add-on to the maintenance plans that they're already selling. We then connect them back to the homes they maintain through our marketplace to perform the recommended maintenance, repairs, and upgrades. The value we help homeowners unlock in their data creates a unique path for us to scale rapidly and efficiently through partnerships with utilities to offer energy management and insurance providers to reduce risks. We launched our platform in April of 2020 and have already generated $34,000 in revenue by selling upgrades and subscriptions to over 100 homes. We've signed on 6 service providers who are now offering Shipshape in the Southeast, and we recently partnered with the second largest utility in the country. This brings us access to over 3.6 million homeowners. We have fantastic investors supporting us to build Shipshape. We initially set out to raise $1 million in pre-seed capital and significantly oversubscribed. The market opportunity, it's enormous. There are 95 million single-family homes in the United States, and we charge $9 a month. The available market for Shipshape is over $10 billion a year. That's without even factoring in the potential for marketplace revenue. Consider the amount of money homeowners spend operating and maintaining their homes each year. Shipshape is in a unique position to build off the success of the prior generation of smart home device makers like Ring and Nest to help integrate those smart home products to provide intelligence for operations and maintenance of the home. We brought together a team with deep experience in software, predictive analytics, building automation, subscription businesses, and home services. This team has the right experience to build Shipshape, and we have tremendous momentum. We're on a mission to make homes healthier and more efficient. Thank you for your time today. We're building a support network of investors and advisors who share our vision and want to be a part of our mission. We want your help. Please reach out to connect with us.
When asked why we started Sync Energy, it is because one cannot genuinely appreciate light until you've been in darkness. For me, it started back in 1998 when I was 10 years old, living in a refugee camp in Botswana and having to study at night on a kerosene lamp. I was struggling because the night breeze kept blowing the kerosene light out. I remember taking a break to look up in the sky, and I saw an airplane and began to wonder, how is that airplane able to keep its lights on? And what would it take to keep the lights on for everyone down here? No more blackouts, no more living in the dark. It is on this night that the obsession to keep the lights on started.
Rob and I grew up in the developing world, and we know what it is like to be in blackouts for extended periods of time. But blackouts are not just a developing world problem. In the 2020 season, natural disasters have caused more than $30 billion in damages in the Southeast United States alone. At the peak of Hurricane Zeta that happened earlier this month, 504,000 people in Alabama were without power for a week. How many of these people do you think were working from home because of COVID? This is the problem that Sync is solving. Predictive grid analytics to visualize vulnerabilities on the power grid ahead of time. We have started by working with Alabama Power. We just finished a pilot of 6 distribution feeders serving 4,000 customers. Our algorithm predicted impact up to 96% accuracy many months in advance. We have 7 other utilities who just signed up to use the product.
Starting with Alabama has 2 major advantages. First, we have the support of a major power company by being part of the first ever Techstars EnergyTech program. Second, Alabama is in the middle of a tornado and hurricane zone, the perfect environment to build and test our algorithm. Understanding the power grid is something we have obsessed about since childhood. Way back to that cold, fateful night in a refugee camp some 22 years ago. Sharon and I met 7 years ago in grad school. We were in the same power systems engineering PhD program at Washington State University. For undergrad, I studied energy resources engineering at Stanford, and in 2018, I made the Forbes 30 under 30 list in the energy sector.
I have about 7 years of experience in the industry. I work for Schweitzer Engineering Lab, Idaho National Lab, and a major utility, National Grid, in New York. I have a PhD in electrical engineering from Washington State. I published more than 15 papers in top journals on this very topic. In conclusion, if there is a way to turn on customers' lights back sooner, Sync figures it out. This in turn not only helps the power company's bottom line, but it also improves customer satisfaction many times. This is Sync's vision for every power company, big or small, that they all become resilient and anti-fragile.
To make this world shine at night, little bitty electrons must travel through hundreds of miles through a massive electrical grid of cables, connections, and transformers. This equipment is made by huge companies like Eaton and General Electric. It is amazing that these giant companies were founded in 1885 by people like Thomas Edison, George Westinghouse, and Nikola Tesla. Back then, the actual Thomas Edison would sell cable and light bulbs through electrical shops like Graybar and Wesco. Well, today those shops are still around, and since 1885 to today, not much has changed. Those shops still sell through catalogs, via phone, invoices. Let me introduce you to Jim. Jim is a project manager for a local electrical subcontractor, and today is a rough day for Jim. He's managing the construction of a data center, and he just got word that he needs to buy cable and connections to hook up the power. He also just heard that he needs 3 quotes and that he needs the quotes by yesterday. Sadly, getting those 3 quotes will take him up to 2 weeks. My name is Mario de Alba, CEO of Electric, and I am about to tell you how we are modernizing this electrifying industry. Electric is an online marketplace that allows people like Jim to do in 1 minute what used to take him 2 weeks. Our software matches thousands of cables to thousands of accessories and lets Jim find the cable he needs, the connections, and the data sheets for all of his parts with just a few clicks. Best of all, he can get the very best price. Jim loves electric. 2 months ago, I convinced Josh Burns, our CTO, to leave a cushy job at JP Morgan. And together, we have been busy coding, interviewing customers, and making sales. We just released the first version of our product 2 weeks ago and have already signed 8 customers, including some of the biggest players in the industry like 3M, Southwire, and CED. Already with $180,000 in annual recurring revenue and expecting to be at $500,000 in 6 months, we're very excited. But this is nothing compared to the size of the industry we're playing in. The electrical equipment industry is massive, with around $200 billion a year in equipment sales. Look, renewable energy, solar, wind, electrical vehicles, smart grids. The 2020s will be remembered as the electrical revolution 50 years from now. This revolution will need infrastructure, and Electric will provide a great solution to help build it. If you'd like to learn more, visit us at electricup.com.
That's a wrap. Thank you for coming to the first ever Techstars Alabama EnergyTech Demo Day. We had a bunch of magical moments during our 13 weeks. One of our favorites, the paintball war in the middle of the program at our retreat. What better way to be safe and masked up than wearing paintball masks? Enjoy some of that footage. Thank you for coming today, and thank you for supporting our startups.
Oh, yeah.